Hi, my name is Tim Ferriss, and I'm going to share my thoughts on the 80-20th principle, Pareto principle. In a world obsessed with balance and equal effort, where we're taught that every action should have a proportional reward, the 80-20th principle might seem contradictory. This principle challenges the conventional idea that all efforts must be equal to get equal results. It suggests that about 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. This isn't just a mathematical curiosity, but a practical observation that can be applied to many parts of life. This principle, also known as the Pareto principle, came from the observations of Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto. Pareto, a very curious and insightful man, dedicated his life to understanding economic and social patterns. In the late 19th century, Pareto noticed a curious pattern in wealth distribution. 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. This initial observation was just the beginning of his journey to uncover a broader principle. Intrigued, Pareto explored this imbalance further, finding it repeated in several areas, not just in wealth distribution but also in agricultural production, income distribution, and other social and economic things. He observed that 20% of the pea pods in his garden produced 80% of the peas. This simple observation in his own garden gave him a powerful way to understand unequal distribution in other situations. This simple observation opened up a powerful concept. Results aren't always directly proportional to effort. Instead, a small fraction of our actions can create most of our achievements. This uneven distribution of cause and effect, where a small percentage of inputs drives most of the outputs, became known as the 80-20th principle. This principle has been seen in lots of fields, from business to health to education. The 80-20th principle isn't about strict mathematical accuracy. It's not always exactly 80-20ths, but the main idea is that a small number of causes, inputs, or efforts tends to create most of the results. It's a lens to view our efforts and results, highlighting areas of influence. It lets us identify and focus on the areas that really matter, instead of spreading our efforts evenly. By understanding this principle, we can strategically focus our energy on the 20% that truly matters, maximizing impact and efficiency. This not only improves our productivity but also allows us to achieve a better balance in our lives. Whether in business, personal life, or any other endeavor, the 80-20th principle offers a guide to achieving more with less. It teaches us to be smarter with our time and resources, allowing us to reach our goals more effectively and with less stress. The first step to using the 80-20th principle is to identify your vital few activities. This principle, also known as Pareto's law, suggests that a small number of causes, efforts, or actions leads to most of the results, effects, or rewards. These are the 20% of your actions that produce 80% of your desired results. Identifying these activities might seem challenging at first, but with a systematic approach it becomes easier. Think of it like separating the important stuff from the unimportant stuff. In a world full of distractions and unimportant tasks, finding those few activities that really matter is crucial. Start by listing your key goals. These can be both personal and professional. Do you want to increase sales, improve your fitness, or deepen relationships? Each goal will have a different set of high-impact activities. Once you've defined your desired results, analyze your current activities. Make a list of everything you do in a typical day. Ask yourself, which actions contribute most significantly to these goals? Which are the tasks that, if removed, wouldn't affect your end results? Be honest and thorough in your evaluation. Sometimes activities we think are important aren't so important when we look closely. Track your time for a week or two to get clear on where your hours are spent. Use a time tracking app or simply write down your activities in a journal. Look for patterns and connections between your actions and the results you achieve. Are there certain activities that always seem to lead to good outcomes? For example, you might discover that 80% of your sales come from 20% of your clients. This would tell you to focus more on those key clients. Or 80% of your joy at the gym comes from 20% of the exercises you do. This would help you focus on those exercises you truly enjoy and that benefit you most. This exercise isn't about perfect accuracy. You don't need to identify exactly 20% of your activities. The goal is to identify the activities that constantly deliver the biggest impact. These are the tasks that, when done, really make a difference. This requires honesty, reflection, and a willingness to challenge assumptions about what's truly important. Sometimes this might mean letting go of activities we've done for years. The more effectively you can identify your vital few, the more effectively you can structure your life around them. This will not only improve your productivity but also allow you to live a more balanced and fulfilling life. The 80-20th principle is a game changer for productivity. This principle, also known as Pareto's Law, suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In other words, a small part of what we do produces most of our achievements. Once you've identified your vital few, the next step is to ruthlessly prioritize them. This means making a list of all your tasks and then figuring out which ones truly create value. This means scheduling dedicated time for these high-impact activities and firmly protecting that time. Block out your calendar and set reminders to make sure these tasks get done without interruptions. Eliminate distractions and create an environment that helps you focus. This might include working in a quiet space using noise-canceling headphones, or even setting clear boundaries with colleagues and family during your work hours. Delegate or outsource tasks that fall outside of the 20%, freeing up your time and energy for what really matters. Don't be afraid to ask for help or use outside resources for tasks that aren't critical to your main goals. For example, if 80% of your sales come from client meetings, delegate administrative tasks to an assistant or use technology to automate them. Tools like project management software and automation apps can be very helpful. This lets you focus on building relationships and closing deals. By freeing up your time from smaller tasks, you can put more energy into activities that really move your business forward. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more, it's about achieving more with less. The key is to be efficient and effective, focusing on what truly matters. The 80-20th principle challenges the traditional idea of working hard and encourages a more strategic approach. Instead of just increasing the amount of work, it's about improving the quality and impact of your efforts. By concentrating on the vital few, you work smarter, not harder, maximizing your output and achieving remarkable results. This approach not only improves your productivity, but can also lead to greater satisfaction and balance in your work and personal life. The 80-20th principle isn't just a productivity trick, it's a powerful tool for personal growth and stronger relationships. Apply this principle to your personal development by identifying the 20% of activities that give you the most joy, satisfaction, and growth. Maybe it's reading, spending time in nature, or pursuing a creative hobby. Prioritize these activities and make them non-negotiable in your schedule. In relationships, the 80-20th principle can help you invest your time and energy in the people who matter most. Identify the 20% of your relationships that bring you the most joy, support, and meaning. Nurture these relationships intentionally, dedicating time to meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and expressions of love and appreciation. Remember, relationships, like any endeavor, require effort and attention to thrive. By focusing on the vital few relationships, you create a strong support system and cultivate deeper connections.